Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for being here. Bring your awareness into your body. This is our yoga class for a Saturday morning. Start moving in ways that feel good in your body. And as you move, you can be pretty confident that as you stretch and move, you're melting that fuzz that develops in the fascia overnight. So you can think of moving and breathing. And as you move and stretch, you're really giving your body some good juice, lubricating joints and muscles, and melting that fuzz that does develop overnight. So do more movement here. Keep breathing. I'm not sure why we have, let's see. Okay, so everybody's moving. Yes, so we're moving, we're breathing. Let's find our mountain pose now. Mountain pose, generally speaking, most of us like about hip width apart. And remember, you want that slight external rotation from the hips, knees, and toes. And do a little rebounding, either bouncing the heels up off the floor or being bouncy in your knees and hips. So two different ways of rebounding. The heels bouncing up off the floor, or that bouncing both in the knees and the hips. And that's really important to keep bendy in the hips as well as the knees, right? So you might need to lean forward a little bit as you bend those knees. Let's do some moving mountains. Before we do that, find your groundedness. Really feel the bottoms of your feet and how you're connected with the earth. Let your shoulders sink away from the ears, keeping those knees soft. Find your inner corset. So all those muscles in your core, keeping you tall and slim. Let's go ahead and inhale, shift that weight forward, stretch the arms up overhead and feel like you're reaching through the crown of your head and your fingertips as your heels lift up off the floor. And as you exhale gently, come back down. And let's shift that weight into the heels. Notice how that feels. And then pick up your toes and wiggle them a little bit. With your next inhale, shift that weight forward, stretch up, reach up, and exhale, release, gently back down to mountain. And if you like, shift that weight to the heels and lift and wiggle those toes. One more time, inhale, stretch up, reach up, and exhale, settle back down. Notice how it feels as you bring the weight back into your heels and wiggle those toes a little bit. Now for our next moving mountain, you might want to widen your stance a little bit because we're going to come through our fierce pose or chair pose. And remember, when you come through that fierce pose, you want to keep that rib anchor in and reach back through the hips, right? Bending at the hips and knees pretty equally. You're going to squat or combination of squat and forward fold, right, for this one. As you inhale, stretch up, reach up. Once again, and as you exhale, those heels come down and the weight does shift through the heels, in through the heels, lowering down into the squat, fold, release. And inhale, long spine lifts with the support of the breath. So don't roll up, lift with the support of the breath, that long spine, and exhale, release back down. What does that look like? Inhale, shifting the weight forward, stretching up, reaching up. Exhale, heels come down, reaching back through those hips. Feel that inner corset working, keeping your spine long and stacked, and release down. So there's that release. And then as you inhale, you want to stretch that spine and allow it to come straight again. And using that breath for support, bring it up in its lengthened state, and exhale, release back down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. And as you exhale, reaching back through those hips, coming through that forward fold, squat, release. And inhale. Notice how your heart has to lift so that your spine stays long. And exhale, release back to mountain. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Get those shoulders loosened up. Yes, good. Keep breathing. How about we widen the stance a little bit? And this is where we're going to be doing our stretch like this. So if you like a block, we'll do one side and then we'll do the other. And we're going to do this incrementally. So come into that wide-legged stance. And if you want to use a block, set it in between your legs. An easy reach for your hands. And let's inhale, those arms parallel with the floor. As you exhale, take your left hand and just curl it to your back and just touch the block with that right hand. And then inhale back up. So again, we're going to do this incrementally. We'll stay on this side for a few more times. Exhale. Right hand comes and pushes that block a few inches towards the left foot. Inhale back up. Exhale, fold again, pushing that block a little farther towards the left foot. Inhale back up. Exhale, fold again. This time pushing the block right in front of that left foot. And inhale up again. One more time. And as you exhale, that right hand comes to the block and the left hand comes to the back. Staying here. Feel this pose. Feel your knees a little bit soft, especially on that exhale. As you inhale, your knees might tighten up. You're pressing into those feet, reaching through the crown of the head. Feel the strength and the length in this pose. As you exhale, soften. So notice that softening as you exhale, and then that lift and lengthening as you inhale. Exhale, soften one more time. And this time as you inhale, unwind that left arm, turning the whole torso into this twist. And as you exhale, come back. And of course, Ken's not doing this. Ken is not doing this. He's doing something more easy on his back. Inhale, turn and stretch. Exhale, return. We'll do that one more time for 3 on this side. Inhale. And exhale. Now come to center, bring both hands down, release the neck. Notice how you feel and get ready to come up with that long spine. So getting ready to come up with the long spine means you're going to engage that lower belly. Exhale fully. And then inhale. Long spine lifting, supported with the breath. Exhale, release those arms down. Let's do the other side, just like that. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, left hand just touches the block and the right hand comes to the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, this time we're going to push that block a few inches towards the right foot. And if you're not using the block, you'll just touch the floor or reach forward incrementally, moving towards that right foot with your left hand. Inhale back up. And this is our third move. So we're going to take that left hand and push that block in front of the right foot. And inhale up one more time. Exhale. This time we'll take that hand and put it on that block or in front of that right foot and stay there. Keep breathing as you inhale. Feel the length and strength in this pose. See if you can draw those shoulders gently away from the ears. Reach through the crown of your head. Press into your feet. Feel the length and strength. Exhale, soften a little bit. So maybe your elbow will bend and your knees will bend a little bit as you exhale. And as you inhale, maybe they'll straighten up a little bit. Notice what happens as you exhale, soften. And inhale, stretch. Now exhale one more time. And as you inhale, unwind that right arm and turn the whole torso towards the right. Looking up towards the ceiling if you can. And exhale, wind up the arm again. Look in front of the foot. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, return. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, return. This time, let's take that block in between and release your head down. Notice how you feel. Keep those knees soft, even bending those knees. You can dip down into a wide-legged squat here if that feels good for you. Keep breathing. And after you completely exhale, bring that long spine up, supported with the inhale. Good. And exhale, float those arms down. Let's go ahead and heel toe the feet back to mountain and move that block out of the way. Shake it out a little bit. Keep breathing. Now today, I know this is really, I'm eclectic, okay? Yoga isn't just a narrow, you have to do this way, right? Recently, I've been doing a little moving meditation. So I'd like to introduce a little bit of Qigong here. So put your feet together and stand in a mountain here with your feet together. How does that feel? Breathing in and out deeply and gently, shoulders sink away from the ears. Now, this is a technique of shifting weight where you imagine that you can imagine that you've got an hourglass or water moving from one leg to the other, and you're going to empty one leg. So shift your weight to the right and feel that emptiness happen in your left leg, and then step out with your left leg out into about hip width apart. Notice how that feels. Keep breathing. And I'm just going to share with you a couple of little Qigong movements. So this, you can just imagine that you're moving your hands through some thick atmosphere and float them up. Thick atmosphere and float them down. If it feels good to combine it with your breath, you can do that. Inhale, float the arms up. And exhale, float down. One more time. Float those arms up and float down. Now we're going to do that again, but this time we're going to open up wide. Inhale, or whatever works best for you, opening up, and then come back. As if you're moving through a thick atmosphere. Let's do that 2 more times. Floating those arms up, opening up. This is a good way to get rid of that fuzz. And then return and feel like you're floating, or your arms are floating. One more time. Floating up, opening. Feel that stretch, any amount, and return. Good, and float down. Now let's do one more move. So this may not be exactly a move that they would do, but let's think about shifting your weight here. What we're going to do now is kind of paint a rainbow. So lift those arms up. Imagine you have paints on top of your head, a paint can or a tray of paints, and then shift so you lift the upper part of your right foot and open up and paint a rainbow and watch that rainbow being painted. And then come back, you're pivoting, you're on your heel, and the foot comes back to center. Let's open up the other side. So you're turning, the whole body turns slightly as you pivot that foot, looking to that direction, and then come back. Let's do the other side. Opening up, and the breath, just breathe comfortably, just keep breathing and shifting. So each time you pivot on that heel, you empty that foot out somewhat and pivot, turning the whole body gently and return. Let's do one more time on each side. Painting that rainbow on this side, pivoting, opening up, and return. And then finally, one more time, opening up here and returning. Good. Now let's get a little bouncy in the knees and the hips and just throw some paint around. Just have fun, throw some paint. Do one side at a time, both sides together. Just make a Jackson Pollock kind of painting. Yeah, loosen it up. Get the whole body in the action, release tension. And as you're ready, return to mountain. Good, shake it out. Okay. All right, so now let's come down onto the floor and do some of our Apanasana and half bridges. So come onto your back. Snuggle yourself down, get long in the spine. You can take your hands to your shoulders and neck and give that area a stretch, some massage, some loosening up. Maybe you'll turn your head side to side using your fingers to help with that action. And let your neck and shoulders get a little of that healing energy from your hands. Keep breathing. So find as even a posture as you can and relax here for a moment. Let those shoulders spread evenly out on both sides and breathe. So nice deep breathing. Exhale, relaxing. And as you're ready, with an inhale, pick those feet up off the floor. And as you exhale, draw them towards your body, either the chest or the shoulders. You probably want to vary that a little bit. Inhale, the knees come above the hips. Exhale, maybe this time draw them towards the shoulder. Notice how that feels different. Keep breathing. Inhale, exhale, and notice how this affects your lower back. Alternately, it may lift up off the floor as your knees come above your hips. And as you exhale and draw the knees towards the body, maybe that lower back gently presses down onto the floor. Notice how that feels. Now you can change up the movement. Do a little circular action with those knees going one way and then reversing the direction or side to side. You can even bring your arms behind your knees and thighs and give yourself a hug here. Do some things that feel good in your body, whatever that is right now. Maybe a little happy baby. You can bring those feet up and play a little bit. Keep breathing. Move in ways that nourish and make your body feel good today. Yeah, good. Stretching one leg out, doing a upside down split. Maybe that feels good for you today. Anything that feels good. You can also do a spinal roll if that feels good for you. That's a good way to warm up the back if that works for you. Any of this stuff is very individual. It just depends on how you feel. Now, as you feel complete with that Apanasana, that downward motion, where we're kind of curling our back a little bit, let's do our half bridges now. So as you're ready, bring the feet flat to the floor, about hip width apart, comfortably close to those hips. Snuggle around, get comfortable here. And let's, with an inhale, press into those feet, float the arms up overhead, float the hips up. How does this feel? As you exhale, float everything back down. Now really concentrate on the gluteals here. As you inhale, squeeze those gluteals and notice how much that affects this lift. That's a big, huge part of this lift. As you exhale, relax the gluteals and float back down. So inhale, feel like you have paper and you're squeezing it in between your cheeks. How does that feel? It really lifts you high when you do that. And exhale, float back down, relaxing those gluteals. Once again, inhale, float up, Squeezing those gluteals. This time, let's stay here. And as you exhale, relax the gluteals and let the elbows bend. Maybe the elbows will bend out a little bit. And as you relax the gluteals, those hips might come all the way down to the floor. And then as you inhale, squeeze and lift, stretch. Exhale, soften, relax, dip down as far as your body wants to. Let those elbows drift out to the side and inhale, squeeze and stretch. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, soften, relaxing those gluteals, dipping down almost or all the way to the floor. And then inhale, stretch, squeeze. And this time, as you exhale, float everything back down to the floor as you relax here. Walk those arms out to the side and open the palms towards the ceiling and bring the soles of your feet together for a little Baddha Konasana. Now you can rock side to side if that feels good. Notice how that feels. You're massaging those gluteals that you just squeezed and released. Keep breathing. Any amount of this rocking side to side, if it feels good for you, do a little more. And then as you feel complete with that, just rest here for a moment. Let the soles of the feet be touching. Each toe is touching its counterpart on the other side. Relax here. So feel that stretch wherever you feel it. And then stretch your legs out. Bring your arms up overhead. Let's do a pencil stretch here. So pointing the toes, pointing the index fingers. Feel like you're stretching from the core out both directions as you inhale. And as you exhale, flop. Let those limbs flop out any amount. Inhale, point and stretch. And exhale, flop and relax. One more breath. Inhale, point and stretch. And exhale, flop, relax. Let's go ahead and bend those knees. Now, when I roll over to my side, oftentimes I'll lift my hips and stack them and roll over in that way. You might want to try that too. So lifting the hips, and then one hip comes down, kind of shifting over, and then rolling over. So how does that feel for you? Let's come on up and get some padding for the knees. We're going to do a little bit of tabletop action here. So a blanket under the knees is always advisable. Neatly folded so you don't have any unscheduled creases. So bring yourself into tabletop here. Notice how you feel. Breathe in and out, and notice the subtle motions with your breath. Breathe into your back and feel it expand. And exhale, relax. Notice those subtle motions with your breath. As you expand, things happen. You can feel that. And as you exhale, things relax a little bit. Now let's do sunbird to child's pose 3 times. As you inhale, gently slide forward. And this can be just the slightest motion forward. And maybe you'll look up and smile. And as you exhale, bring those elbows down. Hips lower back as far as is comfortable, and relax the neck. Inhale, stretching forward into a sunbird, any amount. Exhale, elbows down, hips back, and child's pose. One more time. Inhale forward. And exhale, child's pose. Now this time you can widen your knees out and settle into child's pose for 3 to 5 breaths, noticing how you feel. As long as it feels good for you to be here, stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. Relax completely. As you're ready, return to a tabletop and return those knees under your hips. Notice how you feel here. Let's do a little opposite limb stretching. And before we do that, let's just roll those hips a little bit. So loosen up your hips. Go roll around in one direction 2 or 3 times, and then reverse direction. How does that feel in your body? 1, 2, 3 times in the other direction, and maybe a little side to side. So you can look back towards your foot on one side, stretching the other side, and then the other side. Keep breathing. A little more side to side action, looking back towards your feet on each side. And now let's, as you're ready, let's do our opposite limb stretching. We're going to keep our limbs up for about 3 breaths. So as you're ready, bring your right foot up, right arm and left foot, sorry. Right arm, left leg. Feel that stretch as you inhale, stretch. As you exhale, soften a little bit. Staying here for 3 breaths. Inhale, feel the stretch. Exhale, soften a little bit. So there will be some movement there. Inhale, feel the stretch. And exhale, return to tabletop. Notice how you feel briefly. You can close your eyes if you like. And then let's do the other side. So left arm, right leg, inhale, stretch. Exhale, soften a little bit. Notice what subtle movements happen. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, soften. One more breath. Inhale, feel that nice stretch. And exhale, return to your tabletop. Let's do tabletop to down face dog. As you inhale, gently slide forward, tucking those toes. Exhale, down face dog. Now with down face dog, there's no need to straighten your knees and bring your heels towards the floor. Inhale forward, exhale, down face dog. So you can have those heels way up and the knees out a little bit and bent a little bit. That's really fine. And it's really actually very good for your spine because then you're able to keep it nice and long. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. We're going to stay here another breath. Inhale, feel the length in your body. And exhale, soften. Bring those knees back down onto the floor. Tops of the feet as well. And release the arms from the floor. And just let those arms shake a little bit. Roll your shoulders. And hopefully you're still comfortable on the floor, on your knees. Let's do some of our forward folds here. We'll start by just opening up, stretching up, a little tiny back bend if it feels good, and then bringing that healing energy into your heart. So here we go. Inhale, stretch up. You can look up here if that feels good, reaching up. And as you exhale, bring that healing energy into your heart. Now we'll do that again, changing the cross of the hands as you inhale. Stretch up. You can look up here if that feels good in your neck. And exhale. Bring that love and healing energy into your heart. Now let's start a forward fold with asymmetrical arms. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. This first one, we're going to take that left arm forward, folding into asymmetrical puppy pose, and the right arm reaches to the back, opening up towards the right if that feels good for your body. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. Now we'll do the right arm forward, left arm back, opening up towards the left. Let's do that 2 more times on each side. Inhaling up. Maybe there's that slight lean back. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm curling to the sacrum, turning and opening up towards the right if that feels good for you. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm curling to the sacrum, opening up towards the left. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm curling around to the sacrum, opening up towards the right. Inhale, stretch up, reach up, and exhale, right arm forward, left arm curling to the sacrum, opening up towards the left. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. Let's do one more time on each side. As you exhale, left arm forward, right arm opening up, reaching back towards that sacrum. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. Right arm forward, left arm curling to the sacrum, opening up towards the left. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. Now let's do a puppy pose. As you exhale, both arms going to reach forward and keep the hips high this time, reaching back through those hips. Feel the length and strength in your spine and stay here for another 3 breaths. Where do you feel the stretch? I feel it in my armpits somewhat, my spine. Keep breathing. And as you're ready, gently walk those hands back, slide them back. And let's come on up to standing. So tuck those toes and lift yourself up. You can put that surface out of the way. Now let's do some balance poses. So roll those shoulders. Get ready for some balance poses. So find your mountain pose. Remember to maintain that slight external rotation, hips, knees, and toes. And keep bendy in the knees and the hips. Good. And that kidney bean shape in your feet, just a little bit. Notice, maybe you can get it, maybe not. I'm just starting to get it. Okay, so now let's do a balance pose. And this one, we're just gonna play with a balance pose, okay? Just play. So with an inhale, shift to the right. As you exhale, ground into that right foot. And then gently just lift that left knee. You can bend the knee, lift the foot up off the floor, and do something with your arms that feels fun. Rotate that ankle. You can stretch those arms alternately, or you can actually keep your hands at prayer pose. Do something that feels good here. Balancing on one leg. Keep breathing. Good. And as you're ready, simply return to mountain. So returning to mountain, you shift back to both feet. Notice how you feel. Keep breathing. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll lift the foot back. But let's inhale, shift to the left. Exhale, ground. You might want to sink a little bit, letting the knee and the hip be a little soft, a little bendy, and bring that right foot up and play a little bit. So any amount. Rotate the ankle, point and flex the foot, do something fun with your arms. I like those wrist rotations. It looks so pretty when your hands are in these neat configurations. You can do mudras. And as you're ready, return to mountain. Good. Give yourself a shoulder roll, maintain that inner corset. And now we'll do the similar thing, but this time we'll bring the foot back. And remember, you want to keep that long spine. You want to maintain that inner corset. So for me, the lower edge of the rib cage has a tendency to jut out. And that creates that spine, that sway back. We want to avoid that. So think about that lower edge of the rib cage is anchoring in, and it stays flush with your abdomen. So you're not jutting it out. Okay? Let's do the back part. So inhale, shift to the right. Exhale, ground. And then lift that left foot back. Any amount. You can play with it again. Remember, you want to stay with that inner corset working. So you may have to lean forward as your foot comes back. And again, you can play with your arms. Do something that feels good for you. Keep breathing. The image of what's his name, the ballet dancer, and Swan Lake. I just get that image of him in Swan Lake. He extends so completely. And the gluteals are where we really want to have nice, strong gluteals. Let's come back to mountain. Return to both feet. Keep breathing. Notice how you feel. Give yourself a shoulder roll. Find that nice long spine. And let's do the similar thing on the other side with an inhale shift. Exhale, ground. You can get soft, a little bendy, both the knees and the hips. And as you're ready, bring that right foot back. You can play, do whatever feels good. Remember, you want to lean forward, keep that rib anchored in. Keep breathing. And move here any way that feels good for you. And as you're ready, as you get unbalanced, or when you're ready to come back to mountain, come back to mountain. Notice how you feel. Okay, so now we've done some really kind of fun and crazy balance poses. Let's just do a regular balance pose of tree pose. Okay, so find that inner corset working, shoulders sinking, neck is long. Remember, you want to keep that neck long. Sometimes you have to get that chin in and up and angle down a little bit for that long neck to occur. Keep breathing. Yeah, a little bit of double chin doesn't hurt. Let's inhale, shift to the right. Exhale, ground. And then as you're ready, lift that left foot, turn the knee out. So the whole leg actually turns from the root of the leg out. And then choose a place where you want your foot to be for today. Please avoid the knee. Either above or below the knee is good. And again, you can play with your arms. You can stretch them up overhead, reaching up. You can fly. Keep breathing, whatever you're doing. One arm up, one arm down. Move, breathe. Have some fun with your tree pose. Good. And as you're ready, return to mountain. Notice how you feel. Keep breathing. Find that stacked spine as best you can. And with an inhale, shift to the left. Exhale, ground. Soften those knees and hips so you're bouncy in those areas. And as you're ready, right leg lifts, turn out from the root of the leg, and find that place where you want to form your tree today. It can be different every day. Keep breathing. It felt really good for me on the first side to stretch up. And make noise if you feel like it. And as you're ready, return to mountain. Good. Notice how you feel. Keep breathing. Okay, let's do a sun salutation. So this sun salutation will include puppy pose. We'll come through tabletop. We'll be doing a forearm plank and a dolphin. So all of those will be included in this, along with all the other ones in this sun salutation. So bring yourself near the front of your mat. Find your nice balance in mountain. Let those shoulders sink away from the ears. Keep bendy or bouncy in your hips and knees. With an inhale, stretch those arms up, and you may want to lean back slightly, just ever so slightly. Don't sway back, lean back from that L5-S1 joint. As you exhale, dive forward, Hinging at the hips, release that spine down. With an inhale, you're going to stretch the spine parallel with the floor. Feel like you're reaching through the crown of your head. Keep breathing. Here you can shift to the right and bring that left leg back. Now let's lift into a warrior one. So as you inhale, stretch those arms parallel and feel this warrior one or hero one. As you exhale, fold down, bringing those hands down. Inhale, feeling this lunge, adjust that foot in the back, any amount. And as you exhale, bring that right foot back and lift yourself into a down face dog. Let those knees bend if needed, and the heels can be up off the floor, allowing that nice long spine. Keep breathing. Inhale, nice long spine. As you exhale, bring your knees down. And the tops of your feet rest down too. Let's reach forward for a puppy pose here. Stretch. And gently slide those arms down so the forearms are parallel with the floor. With the sides of the mat. Forearms on the floor. Tuck the toes and lift into a dolphin pose. So your hips are going to lift as your knees straighten and the top of your head dangles towards the floor. Breathe. Take an extra breath here. Feel it. And then as you're ready, the knees come down again. Another puppy pose, reaching forward. Let's gently slide the hands back and come briefly into a tabletop. Gently forward sunbird, tucking those toes. Exhale, down face dog. Release the neck. Let the knees be bendy. Let there be a slight external rotation, even here. That's helpful for lengthening and keeping that spine integrated. And let's come into a plank here as you're ready. Keep breathing. So plank, we can stay here for a couple of breaths. Really find your plank. So breathe. Imagine that you're drawing your belly button up towards your spine, even as your spine comes into a plank form. Now let's do chaturanga. You can bring your knees down if you choose, or simply chin, chest, knees come down onto the floor in that scooping action and lift into an up face dog, any amount. You can tuck your toes here and fold into a down face dog again. Keep breathing, walk those feet to your best down face dog today. Maintain that slight external rotation. Breathe. Let's do a three-legged dog here. So slightly shift to the right and bring that left leg up. Stretch, reach as you inhale. And then with an exhale, you're going to bend the knee, bring it forward into this high lunge again. Put that foot down in the back and find your hero or warrior one. Feel that length. Feel your gluteal working, especially on that right side here, and then fold down. Here we're going to gently rock back with an inhale. So as you inhale, rock back. That left knee is going to straighten a little bit. And as you exhale, step forward with that right foot into a standing forward bend. Release the neck down. And we'll come up with that long spine. So exhale fully, completely here. And then inhale. Long spine lifting, supported by the breath. Good. And exhale into mountain. Now notice how you feel. And let's do the other side. Inhale, stretch up. There may be a slight lean back here. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Dive forward. Release that neck. Inhale, stretch up and forward. Feel like you're reaching through the crown of your head. Keep breathing, shifting to the left. Step back with the right. Bringing that right foot down. Lift and reach forward into a hero or warrior one. Breathe. As you're ready, fold down. Bringing those hands down. Adjust that foot in the back. Any amount, whatever you need. And bring that left foot back. Down face dog. Try that slight external rotation here. It's really helpful for your back. Breathe. Keep breathing. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, soften a little bit. Now we're going to gently inhale one more time. Exhale, plank. Feel this plank. Keep breathing. We have to do our chaturanga on this side. So folding forward or scooping forward. Chin, chest, knees come to the floor. Lifting. This can be either with just the tops of your feet or your knees on the floor. Usually for most of us, it's knees on the floor. And then as you're ready, tuck the toes and fold into down face dog again. Keep breathing. Now we're going to shift slightly to the left and bring that right foot up. Stretch and reach as you inhale. And as you exhale, bend that knee, bring it forward. However you need to get it there, you can help it. And bring yourself upright into this high lunge, this warrior one, hero one, and then fold down. Keep breathing. With an inhale, rock back, stretching that right knee a little bit. And as you exhale, step forward. Left foot comes forward into a standing forward bend. Release the neck down. Exhale fully before you inhale. Long spine lifting, supported by the breath. And exhale into mountain. Good. Roll those shoulders. Keep breathing. I need a sip of water. Maybe you do too. Okay. Wow. So now let's do our inversion. So if you want to do shoulder stand, headstand, forearm balancing, handstand, whatever you want to do, as long as you're proficient, you have padding. If you're doing a shoulder stand, I really would encourage you to use that padding to support your whole upper body, especially that neck. And otherwise, come into a Viparita Karani, legs up a virtual wall. So whatever you feel like doing now, inversion wise, let's do it. So I'm going to go ahead and do our Viparita Karani, legs up a virtual wall. And you're welcome to join me if you like, if you're not doing something else that feels good or better for you. So come on down. Snuggle those shoulders away from the ears. And as you're ready, if you're doing Viparita Karani, legs up a virtual wall, lift up into a half bridge and tuck that neatly folded surface or block under your sacrum and tailbone and settle there for a moment. Ask your body, does this feel good? If it feels good, stay here. And you can lift your feet up towards the ceiling. If it doesn't feel good, keep your hips on the floor and lift your legs or do something else entirely. So as you're ready, lift those feet to face the ceiling with the soles of the feet and settle here. You can do any amount of motion. You can do point and flex. You can do a bicycle. Do what feels good for you. My body's calling for separating the feet and bringing them out and stretching the inner thighs. So I'm going to do a little bit of that here. You do what feels best for you. Maybe this stretch would feel good. Keep breathing, whatever you do, maintaining that inner corset. And another thing you can do is split here. So one leg up towards your chest and the other reaching back. Just do some motion. or just relax. Do what feels good for you here. Keep breathing. Now, as you feel complete with whatever inversion you're doing, it's time to come to our meditation pose. So that can be more with your feet up, relaxing the knees up on a chair seat, or lifting those legs to rest against a wall. Now is your time to decide where you want to be for your meditation pose. You may enjoy laying on your back, stretching your legs out. You may prefer laying on your side. Choose the most comfortable place you can be today. And keep yourself warm and relax as completely as possible as you breathe in and out deeply and gently. And we'll take about 5 minutes to relax and meditate. And then after those 5 minutes, we can do our ohms together. So breathe, relax as completely as possible. I'll be quiet now. As you're ready, begin to breathe more deeply. Bring some movement into your body. You can stretch and wiggle those fingers and toes. Roll your ankles and wrists. Take your time coming into a seated posture. Please be sure if you're laying down to bend your knees and roll over onto your side. Use your arms to help yourself up, keeping that neck as relaxed as you can. Now we can do Ohms or bumblebee breath together. I'll stop the recording now. And you are welcome to unmute yourself as you choose.